I used to think I was invincible. At 63, I still played golf every weekend, drove across states, and told everyone, I'm healthier than most guys half my age. Until one morning changed everything. I was fixing my usual breakfast, buttered toast, fried eggs, and my favorite creamy coffee. The news was playing on TV. Suddenly, I felt a sharp, stabbing pain in my chest. I collapsed. I couldn't breathe. My vision blurred. It felt like someone was crushing my heart from the inside. That was my first heart attack. No warning. No signs. I was lucky. I survived. But some of my friends, they didn't. After the hospital, I kept asking myself, how could this have happened? I wasn't drinking, I didn't smoke, and I never had major health problems. Then I discovered the painful truth, the danger wasn't loud or obvious. It was hidden in the food I ate, the hours I sat still, the late nights with the TV. These small daily choices, things I thought were harmless, were slowly pushing me toward heart failure. And I know I'm not the only one. That's why I made this video. If you're over 60, like me, please listen carefully. This is not from a doctor reading a chart. This is from someone who's been there, who felt his heart give out, and got a second chance. Today, I'll reveal the 10 daily habits silently damaging your heart, and more importantly, how to reverse them with the power of nature and simple changes to your food and routine. Yes, it's that serious. But also, that's fixable. Doctor, heart attack, nature, food, these 4 words could change the rest of your life. Watch till the end. I'll share the one secret that saved my heart, and might just save yours. I had a friend named Jerry. We met nearly 15 years ago at the local senior club. Jerry was the kind of guy everyone loved, always cheerful, full of jokes, and never missed our morning coffee meetups. But Jerry had one habit, or rather, one missing habit. He never walked. While the rest of us took morning strolls through the park, Jerry preferred to stay seated, sipping his coffee and chatting away. Walk. I barely have enough energy to sit and relax, let alone walk around the block, he'd laugh. None of us blamed him. Honestly, many of us were the same. We believed that as long as we didn't smoke, didn't drink too much, and ate moderately, our hearts would be fine. Until Jerry didn't show up one morning. He had suffered a sudden heart attack right in his living room. No symptoms. No warnings. Just years of sedentary living, poor circulation, rising cholesterol, and a heart that could no longer keep up. When I visited him in the hospital, the doctor shook his head and said, if he had just walked 30 minutes a day, this could have been avoided. That sentence haunted me. So I started digging into the facts. Turns out, research from places like Harvard and the Mayo Clinic confirms it. Just 30 minutes of walking daily can reduce your risk of a heart attack, high blood pressure, and other cardiovascular diseases by nearly 50%. That's no gym, no marathon, just walking. When you walk, you're activating a powerful natural system in your body. Blood flows better, oxygen reaches your brain, blood pressure stabilizes, and best of all, those dangerous arterial plaques don't get a chance to build up. It's one of nature's simplest and most effective ways to protect your heart. And don't think you're too old to start. I was 68 when I began. At first, I only managed 10 minutes. Then 15. Then 30. Now, I walk 45 minutes every morning. And let me tell you, I feel more energetic, I sleep better, I think more clearly, and even my mood has improved. All from walking. Many seniors say, I don't have time. But do you have time for hospital stays? Do you have time for blood thinners, oxygen masks, and nights in the ICU? Trust me, the time you invest in walking is the time you steal back from illness. I want you to try something tomorrow morning. Set your alarm 20 minutes earlier. Put on your shoes. Step outside. Walk around your block or the nearest park. You'll struggle at first, sure. But after just 1 week, you'll feel the difference. It's as if you're recharging directly from nature. And if you've been thinking, I take my meds, that's enough, hear me clearly, medication can't replace movement. Your doctor can prescribe pills, but only you can prescribe walking, and that's the true food your heart needs. If you've survived a heart attack like I have, you understand the value of every beat. And if you haven't, now's your time to prevent one. You don't need to run. Just walk. Every step you take is a silent thank you to your heart. I used to think that staying away from cigarettes and alcohol was enough to protect my heart. But the real enemy? It was hiding in plain sight, salt. Back in the day, I loved salty foods. Every meal had to have something pickled or heavily seasoned. I thought, that's how you make food taste good. What harm could it do? But one day, my heart started racing, and my blood pressure shot through the roof. I ended up in the hospital. The doctor looked me straight in the eye and said, "Mr. Bennett, if you don't cut down on salt, your heart won't hold out for much longer." That was the moment it hit me. I had no idea how much salt was in my daily food, not just the salt I added with the shaker, but the hidden sodium in canned soups, breads, processed meals, even cookies. Most people over 60 don't realize that their bodies become more sensitive to sodium with age. Too much salt leads to high blood pressure, which silently damages your arteries, stresses your heart, and can result in a devastating heart attack. It's often called the silent killer, for a reason. It gives you no warning until it's almost too late. After that scare, I made changes. I stopped adding extra salt, avoided processed meals, and started flavoring my food with herbs, garlic, onions, and lemon. Nature, it turns out, has given us all we need to enjoy delicious meals without destroying our hearts. Just a few weeks after cutting back on sodium, I noticed something amazing. My blood pressure stabilized, my energy returned, and my chest no longer felt heavy. I realized then, natural food is medicine. Not only can it heal, but it can prevent damage before it starts. If you're over 60 and still eating salty foods every day, let this be your wake-up call. The change may seem small, but it could save your life. Check food labels, skip the frozen dinners, and don't underestimate the power of one less pinch of salt. Your heart is counting on you. Trust me, I learned it the hard way. Share this with your loved ones. Let's create a community where our elders live not just longer, but stronger, with a heart full of life, not full of pressure. I still remember that morning as if it happened yesterday. I woke up, brewed myself a strong cup of black coffee, and made the usual breakfast: 2 slices of buttered toast, a few crispy bacon strips, and a fried egg with a runny yolk. The aroma filled my kitchen, bringing a sense of comfort and routine. But just a few hours later, while taking my regular walk in the park, I felt a sharp, crushing pain in my chest. Cold sweat poured down my face, my heart raced out of control, and I collapsed. An ambulance rushed me to the hospital, where the doctor looked me in the eyes and said, "Mr. Bennett, you've just had a heart attack." That was my wake-up call. I had no idea my breakfast, something I thought was harmless, was silently damaging my heart every single day. After recovering, I started learning more about how breakfast choices affect heart health. Turns out, meals high in saturated fats, sodium, and processed ingredients, like bacon, sausage, fried eggs, buttery toast, and sugary cereals, are some of the worst foods for your arteries. They raise bad cholesterol, spike blood pressure, and cause inflammation in your blood vessels. What's even scarier? According to studies, most heart attacks happen in the morning, shortly after a heavy breakfast. Why? Because our blood is thicker in the morning, and a fatty meal makes it harder for the heart to pump efficiently, especially in older adults. Before, I used to feel sluggish, irritable, and tired throughout the morning. I blamed it on aging. But once I changed my breakfast, everything shifted. Now, my mornings start with a bowl of oatmeal cooked with almond milk, topped with fresh blueberries and a sprinkle of walnuts. Sometimes, I switch it up with whole grain toast and almond butter or a green smoothie. These natural foods are rich in fiber, antioxidants, and healthy fats, straight from nature, and they give me sustained energy without straining my heart. The transformation was incredible. Within weeks, my blood pressure stabilized, my cholesterol dropped, and I felt lighter and more energized. It was like giving my heart a fresh start. So if you're still starting your day with greasy, heavy meals, let this be your warning. Switch to a heart-friendly breakfast today. It's one of the simplest yet most powerful changes you can make. If this story resonates with you, share it. Let's help others make better choices. Our generation deserves better mornings, and stronger hearts. I remember that evening clearly. After a long day, I sank into my favorite armchair and poured myself a glass of red wine. It was a routine I'd followed for years. I believed, like many others, that a little alcohol every day was good for the heart. But one morning, I woke up with an unusual fatigue. My heart was racing, beating irregularly, and I felt dizzy. I was rushed to the hospital, and the doctor gave me a chilling diagnosis: atrial fibrillation. It was a condition that could lead to a heart attack, stroke, or even sudden death. I was stunned. How could something as ordinary as a glass of wine become a threat to my heart? After my hospital visit, I began researching and learned the hard truth. According to Johns Hopkins Medicine, drinking alcohol regularly increases your risk of high blood pressure, heart failure, and arrhythmia. Even moderate drinking in seniors can silently damage the heart. What's more, the World Health Organization now says there is no safe level of alcohol consumption. Every sip contributes to long-term health risks. For seniors like us, the impact is even more severe. Looking back, I realized how often I blamed poor sleep or morning fatigue on aging. I never suspected that my daily glass of wine was slowly harming me. Since quitting alcohol, I've experienced a transformation. My blood pressure is more stable, I sleep more deeply, and I have more energy throughout the day. I replaced evening drinks with natural foods and calming nature-based habits, like meditation, walks through the park, and heart-healthy dinners made from whole grains, fresh vegetables, and healthy oils. If you're still sipping alcohol regularly, I urge you to reconsider. Listen to your body. Reflect on how often you felt tired, restless, or foggy without explanation. It might not be age, it might be the bottle. Share this message. Let's protect our community by making wiser choices. We don't need alcohol to unwind or to enjoy life. All we need is awareness, support, and the courage to change. Your heart has served you faithfully for decades. It deserves better fuel and cleaner habits. Choose wellness over wine, and your heart will reward you every day. Have you ever felt your heart race when you were angry, or that tight lump in your throat when holding back tears? I've lived those moments. But I never imagined that hiding my emotions could nearly cost me my life. A few years ago, after my best friend passed away, grief hit me like a wave. But instead of opening up, I bottled it in. I told myself, "You have to be strong, Harold. You've been through worse." I never cried, never talked, just buried the pain and moved on, or so I thought. Then one morning, I woke up feeling off. My heart was pounding irregularly, I was lightheaded, and a sharp pain seized my chest. I was rushed to the ER. After some tests, the doctor looked me straight in the eye and said I had suffered a minor heart attack, brought on, in part, by unmanaged emotional stress. I was stunned. The doctor explained how suppressing stress and anger causes your body to flood with cortisol and adrenaline. These hormones tighten your blood vessels, raise your blood pressure, and, over time, damage your heart. It didn't matter how healthy my food choices were or how often I walked in nature. The silent pressure inside me had taken its toll. That wake-up call changed everything. I started walking daily, not just for exercise, but for peace. I'd stroll through the park at dawn, listening to birdsong, letting nature ease my mind. I began journaling, reaching out to friends I hadn't talked to in years, and being honest about how I felt. And my body responded. My blood pressure normalized, sleep improved, and for the first time in years, my heart felt light, not just physically, but emotionally. If you're reading this and holding something in, stress, grief, guilt, please, don't wait. Talk to someone. Take a walk. Write it down. Let it out. Your heart is more than a muscle. It's a reflection of how you live, how you love, and how you heal. Make space for joy, for release, for renewal. And let your journey back to a stronger heart begin not with pills or procedures, but with the courage to feel and let go. Your heart has been quietly carrying your emotions for decades. It's time you carried some of that weight off your shoulders. I remember that night in Florida, not because of a storm or anything dramatic, but because it was the night I almost didn't wake up. For years, I thought sleepless nights just made me a little tired, maybe grumpy the next day. I got used to watching TV late, scrolling through my phone in bed, and finally dozing off around 2 or 3 a.m. I thought I was fine. But that habit nearly destroyed me. The morning after one of those restless nights, I sat down for breakfast. Suddenly, everything went blurry. My heart pounded erratically. My vision darkened. I collapsed on the kitchen floor. At the hospital, the doctor looked me in the eye and said I had narrowly escaped a heart attack, triggered by years of chronic sleep deprivation. That was my wake-up call. You see, when you don't sleep enough, your body doesn't get the chance to repair. Stress hormones like cortisol skyrocket. Your blood vessels tighten. Your heart works harder, your blood pressure rises, and over time, your heart pays the price. Even if you eat healthy food, take daily walks in nature, and avoid obvious risks, lack of sleep quietly sabotages everything. A study from the American Heart Association found that people over 60 who sleep less than 6 hours a night double their risk of cardiovascular disease. And it gets worse, many seniors suffer from undiagnosed sleep apnea, a condition where breathing stops repeatedly during sleep. It causes oxygen drops that increase the risk of heart attack, stroke, and heart failure. After that hospital scare, I changed everything. I turned off the TV by 9 p.m., kept my phone out of the bedroom, and created a calming bedtime routine. I now eat light dinners with heart-friendly foods like oats, walnuts, and chamomile tea. I walk in nature every afternoon to reset my body's natural rhythm. And the results? Just 2 weeks of consistent sleep, 7 to 8 hours a night, and my blood pressure dropped, my energy returned, and my heart finally found peace. If you're someone who thinks sleep is optional, please think again. Don't wait for a crisis like I did. Treat sleep like your heart's favorite medicine. Give it the respect it deserves. Getting good rest doesn't cost a dime, but it can save your life. Turn off the screens, let nature soothe your senses, and choose calm over chaos. Your heart has worked for you every day of your life. Now, let it rest the way it needs to. Because the best healing doesn't always come from a pill or a procedure. Sometimes, it comes from simply closing your eyes, and letting your heart catch its breath. There's a story I've rarely shared, about my old neighbor Thomas from Ohio. He was a kind man, loved his family deeply, took pride in his garden, and every evening, without fail, enjoyed a glass of wine. Just one a day, he'd always say, smiling. Back then, I believed that a little wine was harmless, maybe even good for the heart. That belief crumbled the morning I heard the sirens outside his home. I ran over, only to see Thomas being carried away on a stretcher. His skin was pale. His breathing was shallow. The doctor at the hospital later told me Thomas had suffered a heart attack, and long-term alcohol use had likely played a part. That hit me hard. He looked so healthy. But beneath the surface, his heart had been fighting a silent war. As we age, our bodies change. What we eat, what we drink, it all matters more. Alcohol, even in small amounts, is metabolized more slowly after 60. It raises blood pressure, interferes with heart medications, and increases the risk of irregular heartbeats. It's not just about one drink. It's about what that drink is doing to your arteries, your sleep, and your body's ability to heal. I remembered what a heart doctor once told me: every drink after 60 is a gamble on your heart. That's when I made my decision. No more wine. No more excuses. Instead, I began taking quiet evening walks with my wife through the nearby park. We let nature do the healing, listening to the rustle of leaves, the chirping birds, the calm of twilight. I swapped my nightly drink for soothing herbal tea, and my snacks for heart-healthy foods, like oatmeal, walnuts, and berries. It wasn't punishment. It was liberation. Within weeks, my blood pressure dropped. My sleep deepened. And my heart no longer felt like it was struggling through each day. If you're someone who thinks, it's just one drink, I urge you to think again. Especially after 60, your heart doesn't bounce back the way it used to. Every sip matters. Try a week without alcohol. Then 2. Then a month. Let your body tell you how it feels. Give your heart the space to breathe and the strength to beat without stress. You don't need a dramatic diagnosis to change. All it takes is one quiet decision, made in love, not fear. Your heart has worked tirelessly for decades. Isn't it time you started working for your heart? I used to think, what harm could there be in watching a little late-night news or scrolling through my phone before bed? But one night, everything changed. That evening, I was sitting in my recliner, flipping through channels, scrolling through social media with one hand and nibbling on a leftover slice of pizza. Suddenly, my heart began pounding hard. A tightness gripped my chest. At first, I thought it was just indigestion, until my vision blurred and I blacked out. I woke up in a hospital bed. The doctor looked at me and said, "Mr. Bennett, you've just survived a mild stroke. You're lucky." Stunned, I asked, "But I walk daily, I eat relatively well, how did this happen?" The doctor leaned in and asked, "Do you often watch TV or use your phone before bed?" That one question unraveled everything I thought I knew about sleep and heart health. I started digging into the science. What I learned shook me: the blue light from screens, especially phones and TVs, disrupts melatonin production, the hormone that tells our body it's time to rest. For seniors, disrupted sleep increases blood pressure during the night, one of the most dangerous risk factors for stroke. Even worse, the content we consume, stressful news, arguments on social media, emotional shows, overstimulates our brain, spikes stress hormones like cortisol, and keeps the heart rate elevated when we should be winding down. I realized that for years, I had been slowly poisoning my sleep, and unknowingly, my heart. So I changed. I began turning off all devices at least an hour before bedtime. I started reading books, writing in a gratitude journal, and listening to the gentle sounds of nature outside my window, the chirping of crickets, the breeze rustling the leaves. I also swapped my late-night snacks. No more greasy chips or processed food. Now, I go for light, heart-supportive options, a warm bowl of oatmeal, or a handful of nuts. The kind of food that soothes the body and helps repair the heart overnight. And you know what? Within just a few weeks, I was sleeping better. My morning blood pressure was more stable. I even started waking up with a smile instead of tension in my chest. Too many seniors like me think screen time at night is harmless. But if you're over 60, this habit is secretly damaging your heart, disrupting your rest, and pushing your body toward danger. You don't need a miracle pill to protect your heart. Sometimes, all it takes is to turn off the screens, embrace quiet, and let nature and nourishing foods do their work. You deserve rest. Your heart needs it. And if I, a man who stared death in the face, can change, so can you. I'll never forget the moment my best friend James collapsed right in front of me in a supermarket parking lot. He was just 68. A big, lively guy, a retired firefighter. Strong as an ox, but taken down by a bag of potato chips. No, I'm not joking. James had a habit of snacking when bored: chips, fried chicken, cookies. "It's just food, Harold," he used to say. I'm still kicking like a bull. But those everyday snacks were slowly loading his arteries with bad cholesterol, clogging them up bit by bit, until one day, they choked his heart. Right after checking out with a bag of greasy snacks, he suffered a heart attack. The ER doctor told us bluntly, he's been carrying a ticking time bomb inside for years. That day changed everything for me. I had always thought food was just fuel. But after James, I realized, food is either medicine or poison. Every bite is a choice. One that either heals or harms. I cleaned out my pantry. I tossed the chips, canned soups, frozen dinners, and salty snacks. I replaced them with natural foods, leafy greens, oats, apples, lentils, nuts. I started treating whole foods like powerful tools to heal. And I learned how to read labels, something my new doctor called the survival skill every senior needs. Of course, I still get cravings. Sometimes I walk past that old fried chicken place and my stomach growls. But then I remember James, his face turning pale, gasping for air. I never want that to be my final scene. You see, a pill can help you manage cholesterol, but it's what's on your plate that makes the biggest difference. If you're over 60, please, don't treat junk food like comfort. It's not comfort. It's a slow betrayal. Go check your kitchen right now. If you've got salty crackers, sugary cereals, or processed meat sitting there, toss them out. Your heart will thank you. Choose life. Choose fiber-rich vegetables, fresh fruits, and healthy grains. Turn your meals into your daily dose of heart medicine. I'm not saying you need to live on lettuce. But trust me, nobody wants to end their life with a cheeseburger in hand and regret in their eyes. If you feel this story speaks to you, drop a comment saying, "I'm ready to change." I'll be reading every one, and I promise to share what's helped me survive, grow stronger, and find peace. We still have time. Our hearts are still beating. Let's make every bite count. Let food be your friend, not the silent killer hiding in your pantry. I still remember it like it happened yesterday. On my 67th birthday, I received a gift no one ever wants: a heart attack. There was no cake, no flowers, just the blinding lights of the emergency room and the echo of sirens slicing through the night. The irony? Just days before, I was bragging to my friends at the park, saying, "I've never been hospitalized. I'm as strong as ever." I walked daily in nature, ate what I believed to be the healthiest foods, and avoided all the obvious risks. But I was wrong. Very wrong. When I woke up in the ICU, the doctor looked at me and said something that shook me to the core: "Mr. Bennett, if you had just come in for a routine checkup once a year, you wouldn't be here today." That one sentence hit me harder than the heart attack itself. Like many, I believed that a healthy lifestyle was enough. But it isn't. The silent killers, high cholesterol, hypertension, clogged arteries, don't knock before they enter. They sneak in quietly and strike when you least expect it. There are thousands of people out there, just like I was, thinking only the sick need to see a doctor. But the truth is, regular checkups aren't for finding disease, they're for saving lives. After my heart attack, I made a vow. I now get a full health screening every 6 months. And you know what? That's when I discovered early signs of high cholesterol and mild ischemia, conditions that could have quietly ended my life. Instead of waiting for your body to scream, listen to its whispers. Treat visits to your doctor as essential maintenance for your heart, just like you would take your car in for a tune-up. You don't wait until your car won't start. You maintain it so it won't break down. Your body deserves the same care. I know some people fear doctor visits because they're afraid of hearing bad news. But here's the truth: finding out early gives you power. It gives you options. Waiting until your body breaks down That steals your future. Make today the day you stop gambling with your life. Schedule a checkup. Mark it on your calendar like it's the most important appointment of the year, because it is. It's not just about checking numbers. It's about protecting your story, your memories, and your loved ones. Let me be the voice of experience. Your heart, your life, your legacy depend on the simple act of showing up at the doctor's office. If you've made it this far, thank you, not just for your time, but for your commitment to your heart. I'm Harold Bennett. I once believed that simply surviving was enough. But I was wrong. Living without caring for your heart isn't living, it's merely existing. Every habit I mentioned in this video, I've been there. I dismissed them, like grabbing a greasy breakfast, staying up scrolling through my phone, or putting off a checkup because I was too busy. They seemed harmless. But each one silently pushed me closer to a heart attack. Your heart doesn't ask for perfection. It asks for attention. Start with just one small change, take a 15-minute walk, switch to a cholesterol-lowering breakfast, or schedule that long-overdue checkup. Every step matters. We, seniors over 60, don't have the luxury of endless tomorrows. Every day you wait is a step closer to clogged arteries, elevated blood pressure, or worse, a fatal stroke. But you're not alone. I'm here, a survivor, sharing this because I made it through. And if I can do it, so can you. Please, choose one habit from this video and change it today. Write it down. Post it on your fridge. Tell a friend. Every small act is a defense against nature's silent killers. And if this message touched you, share it. You never know who in your circle, your friend, neighbor, or family, might need this more than you think. Thank you for listening to my story. And thank you for listening to your heart.